Good day to you. My name is Maria Kądzielska, and this is Poland Daily Culture. We discuss culture, philosophy, and a lot of ways of thinking of the modern world. With us on Skype is Dr. Marie Bassett from Common Sense Society. Again, thank you very much for calling us.
Thank you for having me.
And since you are calling us from Washington, D.C., so I would say the center of, let's say, politics, but also way of thinking which shapes the world, also our part of the world. You were previously the director of an academic programs at the Victims of Communism Memorial Foundation. Could you tell us about this foundation? Because, well, it seems very much, sort of attached to our part of the world, because we are in Poland sort of victims of communism.
Absolutely. So the Victims of Communism Memorial Foundation is the only organization that is dedicated to all of the victims of communism. So the 100 million dead and the billion plus who currently live under a single party communist totalitarian dictatorship. So it's not only a historical organization, not only seeking to teach people the true history of communist implementation over the last century, but it's also a human rights organization dedicated to achieving liberty in the 5 recognized communist states that currently exist.
Wow, so that's a huge challenge. So you're actually addressing, the citizens in China or in Cuba. Am I correct?
That's correct. Yeah. So working on behalf of them, very often it's providing platforming for the human rights activists that are coming out of China, Cuba, Laos, Vietnam, and North Korea. One can arguably add Venezuela to that list as well. Meaning that there would be 6. It's
when they finish. It's very challenging. Also, the fact that it's usually very hard to get out of those systems, and the people who manage to, they are sort of either broken or they definitely need support. So how do you do it? How do you help them?
So a lot of it again is the platforming. So making introductions to people on Capitol Hill or in the administration, State Department, Defense Department sometimes, but including the president. We have the Victims of Communism Memorial Foundation, has in the past arranged meetings with the president and survivors from current communist states, so that he can get the truth directly from those who experienced it. Beyond that, there's films that have been made, an incredible series of documentaries called The Witness Project. So again, it's about storytelling and narrative, and trying to remind people that when the Berlin Wall came down in 1989 and when the Soviet Union collapsed in 1991, communism didn't end. That's not what happened. There are more people today in sheer numbers living under a communist state than there were in 1989 before the Berlin Wall came down. Now, that is it's produced by the massive demographic growth that you've had in China, but fully 1/5, so one in 5 people live under that totalitarian ideology, and they don't have the opportunity to flourish the way that they should. And if we were able to unlock, all of that human potential, it makes me, very hopeful for the future. If we can get rid of communism and bring liberty, and give people the opportunity to be prosperous so that they can, flourish and build beautiful things, the world will be a much, much better place.
Well, it sounds wonderful, but it also sounds very challenging. So, fingers crossed it's all actually meant to at least be heard, because giving voice to those people, that's also something very important. And well, thank you for explaining this to all of us. And I am sending you, the viewers of Poland Daily, actually to check out what this foundations and for the victims of communism is doing, and look at the project, see the documentaries and see the films, because you might be interested in it. And thank you for watching our show.
I had a shift in my worldview and had the courage to doubt what I had been learning my entire life.
Stalin was the same as Hitler, maybe worse.
It's time to do something to be heard.
People like us were called the enemy of the state.
Communists mutilate the human soul to control the society.
When you speak your mind, the Communist Party is going to go after you.
Even talking a little against communism, oh, it's finished.
But there is a truth they cannot take away.
And I am a freedom fighter.
I have a mission to do. I am a witness of communism.